The egregious stories of Novia riches abound precariously with us today. Mrs. Iru Kazoka was the principal of one of the renowned secondary schools in Onitsha and the mother of Natasha. Her story was the same in all ramifications. She was poor in the night and became enormously rich in the morning without any potential source. Her wealth started splitting hairs when her daughter met a conglomeration of internet fraudsters at Asaba. Soon she was driving to school with the latest Highlander and other exquisite luxurious cars. Her husband was perennially poor and an ordinary teacher at Christ the King College, who had retired some years ago and had not raised a finger to acquire another job. Her source of wealth became terribly mysterious as she accentuated it in her flaunting it without purpose. Nigeria is a bedrock of hidden, malodorous counter-influences. The influence of rhinestone dreadlock hoodlums without job or conspicuous livelihood, but flaunting wealth in almost extravagant idiosyncrasies, greatly complemented the maladministrative squandermaniacs called the politicians. There is just one little wall that bifurcated the political class and the Yahoo internet fraudsters in Nigeria. Sometimes it becomes indistinguishable as both are convoy exponents guided by well-armed policemen. The day Clancy Ogunese got missing was one hot, shimmering afternoon. Community was at its peak, and when the school bell rang, the girls flooded into the canteen to quench that dry throats. As the storekeeper handed out pure chilly waters, she noticed that Natasha had again bought one full crate of mineral water for her gang. She had wondered time without number where the girl was getting the money. At last, she had surmised that the girl was a prostitute, an untrained child from a lackadaisical parenthood who traveled all over the world at detriment of their children. Natasha was symmetrically endowed, flawless skin, as smooth as nightloose shell, a slender aristocratic nose, white even teeth, and slightly above average. She was a dunce and was poorly gifted in academics, but whatever she lacked was lavishly gifted in her social skill. She could talk a dump and delve into friendship. When one of her bosom friends disappeared, the principal summoned her into her office. And after listening to the rumors of how the young girl squandered money in the money market, Natasha, you heard that Clancy Ogunese, your friend, is missing. The principal started without preamble. Yes, ma, I heard. Natasha answered in a monotonic voice, devoid of expression. What can you tell me about her? Not much, ma. I don't even know her well. She lied, and the principal recognized when she blinked twice to answer. You don't know her? Both of you were reported to have visited the swimming pool at Grand Hotel. Who sponsored the excursion? I did, ma. And you also treated the girls to a lunch? Yes, ma. Where did the money come from? Where did the money come from? My mother gave me, Natasha answered defiantly. You are telling me your mother, my colleague, gave you 200,000 naira, Natasha? Yes, ma. I don't believe you. Where do you get the money? Start speaking because your mother will soon be here. Who gave you such an amount to spend on your friends? It was my birthday, and so my mother gave me that money to throw a party for my friends. As we have not been to Grand Hotel, I decided to give them that threat. It came from the bottom of my heart. I never meant any harm, ma. I never meant any harm. And Clancy was among those that enjoy your threat. Yes, ma. Just one among the 10 girls from my class. Who gave you permission to engage in such madness? The girl's mistress, Mrs. Mary Madoka. Did you tell her where you are going? No, ma. And it's now 3 days Clancy had disappeared. Can you tell me anything you discussed that day? We didn't make much discussion. I could remember Clancy boasting about her new boyfriend. What is his name? She didn't mention his name. She didn't mention his name, but she said he is a politician and resides at Abuja. We at Abuja, she didn't mention. I could remember all of us were enthused because she said the man is a senator. There were devious trajectories to the same story, but the underline was that Clancy actually talked about a boyfriend or sugar daddy. Such news boosts like a honeybee's nest for as long as the parents of Clancy persevered, and soon the school returned back to normal routine until another student disappeared in the same way. This time, the police rounded all the girls who were last seen with the missing girl. They were thoroughly interrogated individually, but Natasha's mother came to the rescue and had her daughter skipped from the slots. In due time, 2 other girls were reported missing from the same school. The serious omen had blown into a full-fledged acrimony. Soon the school was extensively diminishing in number. Parents were withdrawing their children and wards from the school for fear of mysterious disappearance, and NBC Secondary School was placed under security watch. For close to 2 good months, nothing happened. Everyone was certain the last of the ominous circumstance was established through security alert, but that was not to be. On the 12th of July, towards the end of the long holidays term, another development occurred in the school. The atmospheric air of the long-term holidays, final days of the last term examination, coupled with the mood of the favorite holidays, garnered an exuberant, joyful atmosphere in and around the school. Leverage on the excited, flamboyant air, some students walked leisurely to school without regard to the regulation or school rules and order. In the school compound, where the last examination, which was mathematics, had been taken, students gathered in gang and their groups, some plaiting their hairs and others gossiping. Natasha took the opportunity to sneak out of school with one of her friends. She chartered a tricycle and they rode far out of the school towards Obanam area. She had told her friend that they were visiting her boyfriend in one of the exclusive estates in Obanam axis. It was the free traffic time in the midday when workers had exited from their homes to their different offices. The volume of traffic was limited, so they sailed freely to the estate and arrived at a desolate 2-story building guarded with gigantic iron gate and a 15-footer fence. Natasha told the tricycle driver to wait for them and took her friend inside the building. The tricycle man was irritated and was about to abscond when he saw Natasha came out of the building alone. She was carrying a bulging, medium-sized bag, the type nicknamed Ghana Moscow. There was something sinister around the girl. In the way the girl carried herself. The tricycle man felt something was terribly wrong, but he kept quiet until they started moving out of the serene vicinity. What about your friend? The tricycle driver asked her, staring at the girl from his rear mirror. He could notice the palpable tension around the young girl and how she gripped the bag, cuddling it as though her whole life depended on it. She's still with her boyfriend. I have to go back to school. I have one paper to take, she answered in cold, gravelly voice, as though injured in the truth. But my daughter said your exams are over. The tricycle man was becoming more suspicious because of the certain empirical lie. He kept the girl fixed in his rear mirror with his eyes. Yes, we are taking the paper. Her voice lacked luster and was as if coming from the ground. The tricycle moved to a busier curb and cleared. Please, can I see what is in that bag? He asked the girl. The question aroused fresh tension, and the girl was almost trembling, her eyes roving wildly around the street. Nothing in the bag except my clothes, the girl stammered incoherently. I want to see those clothes, persisted the tricycle man. Please go on, I will add more money to you, the girl pleaded. How much? The tricycle man asked, now certain something was truly amiss. I will give you 200,000 when we get to my house. You aren't taking the exam anymore? He was holding tight and thinking what he would do. I want to drop my clothes at home, then you will take me to school. There was a closed, desperate air of a trapped rat exuding from the girl. The tricycle man turned and started moving without further comment. Where are you going? The girl almost screamed. Home, to your house. But I didn't even tell you. I didn't even tell you my home. I'm still waiting for you. I'm still waiting for your direction. Cable Point, number 51 Anthony Annie Street. There was a police station in front of them. The tricycle man quietly turned and started towards the gate. Please, I will give you 2 million naira. The girl was shivering like a malaria victim. The tricycle drove through the gate and cleared inside the station. There were a lot of policemen gathering in group in front of the building. Frantically, he waved to them, and they rushed towards the tricycle. They brought the girl down and tore open the bag. Rolls of 1,000 naira notes, wrapped in bundles, were stuffed to bring inside the bag. They took the girl inside and hastily counted the bundles. The whole came up to 10 million. Slapping and hitting the girl with her belt, she told them where she got the money. Hurriedly, they took their patrol van and forced the girl to lead them to the house at Opanam. When they arrived at the exclusive estate, the gate of the house was locked from inside. With the boot of their guns, they dislodged the gigantic gate and gained entrance into the yard. It looked like a car mart. Several escorted luxurious cars sprawling under makeshift canopies. They surrendered the house and rushed upstairs. There was nobody in the lodge, and hectic noises were heard behind as the hoodlums jumped down through the windows. One of them was caught trying to escape through the window. There was blood everywhere in the room. The young girl had already been killed, and her body parts scattered all over the floor. Sweetie stink of fresh blood. Claustrophobic in the room. 2 freezers inside the room contained human parts ranging